Today we're going to talk about popular food swaps, the good, the bad, and the cringy. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Katie. I'm a dietitian and personal trainer, and I love to help former dieters and former restrictors make peace with food and fitness. I do a lot of reaction and review videos just like this one on the channel about different nutrition, fitness, and mindfulness topics. So if that's something that interests you, then definitely hit subscribe and join our little community today. So as mentioned, I'm going to be pulling up some food swaps that I see most often with either my clients, friends and family, or just ones that I've heard about on social media. This is gonna be fun. I'm gonna try not to have a heart attack. The first one up is keto coffee. So let's first look up what exactly keto coffee means, because I think people have their own different definitions of what different things are. So let's just set the record straight here. Keto coffee is a combination of coffee and fats, particularly butter and coconut oil. It follows the principles of the ketogenic diet, which is a strict low-carb, high-fat diet. The purpose of the diet is to induce a state of ketosis by reducing the consumption of carbohydrates. First of all, that's right on the keto diet. That is the purpose of the keto diet. The problem I have with the keto diet, among many things, is that most people aren't even in ketosis ever, and not that I would ever want you to be in ketosis. Ketosis is not something that normal people need to be in. And we can dive deeper into the keto diet on a separate video, but I feel like that would just need a whole video in itself to explain the keto diet, which I'm honestly scared of doing because of the internet people that are going to attack me for it, but I'll still do it. But most of the time, people are still eating some level of carbohydrates and they're not even in ketosis. So the whole premise of being on your high horse for being on the keto diet is like negated because you're not in ketosis. The reason that the keto diet is a thing is because it is specifically something that is prescribed for individuals that have epilepsy that can help reduce seizures. So if it does work, then obviously the doctor and dietitian recommend it, but it's something that can be tested out to see if it'll reduce the likelihood of future epileptic seizures. So that is a great thing. Definitely don't diss it if that's the reason for it. But anyway, this is not what this video is about. We are talking about keto coffee specifically. I've heard a lot of people question if keto coffee is something that'll help with weight loss, and I'm not sure how that is justified in their mind. But my first comment on keto coffee itself is, why are we ruining perfectly good things like coffee? Second off, my guess of why keto coffee in particular is said to help with weight loss is because it's so high fat. If you're adding coconut oil and butter or whatever oils to your coffee first thing in the morning, coffee is already something that reduces appetite because it is a stimulant. Stimulants can reduce appetite, just like other things like pills that you can get prescribed by your doctor can reduce appetite. Same thing with coffee. And so when you add coffee to something like high-fat things like coconut oil and butter, it can even more so reduce hunger levels because fat is something that helps with satiety and keeping us fuller for longer. So when you add a stimulant and a high-fat thing together, that's like a natural appetite suppressant, which is not a good thing, by the way. You should listen to your body and listen to your appetite. But that is my guess of why they say it is working or helping with metabolism, is because it's probably numbing hunger or kind of making their body not feel as hungry. So anyway, that was the longest review. I promise I'll be quicker for the other ones. But anyway, I'll give it a 1 out of 5 because there is some logic to that, but I actually, no, never mind. It's a 0 out of 5 because it's promoting appetite suppressants and the keto diet, and those are two things that I'm completely against as a dietitian who tries to help people have a healthy relationship with food. So never mind, 0 out of 10 keto coffee, sorry. Okay, the next one is banana nice cream. This is one of those things that I feel like everyone who makes it has the best of intentions. And by the way, if you have any of these things, I'm not trying to bash you. I'm not trying to judge you or anything like that. These are all things that I've had before in the past when I had a less healthy relationship with food. So I want to normalize that and say, like, I'm not trying to bash anybody. I'm not trying to make fun of anybody, but it can be foods that we have and we don't realize why we're having them. And it takes some reflection to like realize that we can just have any type of food and we don't have to have these swaps all the time. So disclaimer. Anyway, so banana ice cream, I will read what that is. Essentially, instead of ice cream, it is made with dairy and you blend it up and you use frozen bananas and flavoring for the nice cream. It is said to be a healthier option than said ice cream. Okay, so my biggest problem is when we label foods. So the reason why I don't like that it's nice cream, if you reverse engineer this ice cream, it's kind of saying that regular dairy products and regular ice cream is not nice, or it's not good for you, which is not true. Regular ice cream is full of carbohydrates, protein, phosphorus, calcium, vitamins A and D. So ice cream and dairy have a lot of great qualities. There's nothing wrong with having them. And so it feels to me like we would get a more balance of nutrients and of macronutrients like carbs and protein and fat with regular ice cream versus banana and ice cream, which would most likely, unless you added different things to it, would just have bananas. And again, it's not really the composition alone that bothers me. It's kind of the wording choice and the choice to label something as good and bad that kind of bothers me about it. It's not the thing itself, because I love bananas and I love ice cream. So I just want you to be mindful of that next time you go into trying out a diet food. Ask yourself why. Ask yourself, could I just have the regular form of that food? Just food for thought, no pun intended. Okay, so we're off to a good start, guys. I'm trying to be nice, I promise. I'm trying to be insightful and not super judgy about any of these foods, because again, we're not here to judge. We're just here to have a conversation about why some of these foods are called food swaps and healthy swaps and, you know, kind of the BS behind that. So the next one is lettuce buns. When people try to pretend like lettuce bun is just as good as a regular bun, I can't. So it's exactly what it sounds like. It's replacing lettuce as a bun. So if you're getting a cheeseburger, you're asking for 2 things of lettuce to sandwich it in. This is typically in attempts to lower the carbohydrate content of said meal or lower the calories or whatever. Again, I'm gonna go back to my argument with the nice cream is I feel like just having a burger with a bun is gonna be so much more balanced for you because you're getting carbs and protein and fat in a meal, which is, you always need all 3 nutrients in a meal. It's more palatable, it's more satiating, and it's also more nutrient dense to just have all of it. Now, I'm totally not against trying to find an option like a multigrain bun or a whole grain bun or something like that where there's a little more fiber, a little more nutrients, but you do get more nutrients when you include all parts of the wheat, the bran, the germ, and the endosperm. That's where you're gonna get the most vitamins. But again, we don't really have to micromanage our health all the time. If you're just having a burger and you're like me and you don't have them that often, you can get whatever the frick bun you want. If you're looking for something more filling, I would go more on the side of having a whole grain bun versus a lettuce bun, because that just ain't a bun. Let's just be real. The next one is my favorite, cauliflower, specifically for pizza, because that's the one I see it the most often used for. Cauliflower is used in a lot of things these days. I just made a video where I talked about cauliflower waffles being a thing, so I'll leave that in the description box for you. But right now we're talking about cauliflower for pizza crust, and it typically is used as a carb replacement for starchy foods or for anything that has like flour in it. Cauliflower is still a carbohydrate. It's just per weight, it's a little bit lower of a carbohydrate content type food. I'm a little biased here because I like cauliflower pizza. Yeah, I said it, I admitted it. I do like cauliflower pizza. Not all of them, but cauliflower. Cauliflower is my favorite, and I like them because I don't see any like subliminal messaging like regular pizza is bad or anything like that, at least not from the packages that I've seen. They just kind of label it what it is and they say it's cauliflower pizza, and they don't say any bull crap about like low carb, blah, blah, blah. So I hate when the marketing is kind of like insinuating that you're bad if you have the regular food. So I appreciate that about cauliflower. Cauliflower, thank you so much for not marketing BS, at least from what I know. You could be doing it and I'm just not aware. So let me know in the comments below if you've ever seen them post anything like that. But I do appreciate the branding there, and it tastes pretty good. And it's not that I replace cauliflower with all pizza. I just had Domino's, okay? I have pizza, but it at least doesn't taste like crap. So I'll give it that. While it's 100% fine to have some replacement foods, and all of these foods that I'm mentioning today, it's totally fine if you have it. I think it's just the mindset around foods and like how you feel about incorporating the normal version of those foods into your diet. If you're scared to incorporate regular pizza into your diet because you feel like you're unhealthy if you do so, it can be a problem. Just keep that in mind. Be mindful of how you're viewing foods when you have these replacement foods. That's just the one thing that I have in mind. And I don't think I've been rating all of these. I'm gonna give cauliflower and cauliflower pizza a 4 out of 5. We'll just give it that. The next replacement or food swap is quinoa for rice. Now this one's a little more of a mild one. I don't see it as being a terrible thing, but let's talk more about that. So quinoa is a seed actually, and it is a complete protein, which means that it has all 9 essential amino acids that our bodies don't produce on its own. So that is a positive to quinoa. It has kind of like a nutty texture and it's kind of fluffy when you cook it, and it does pair well, and it is a pretty decent replacement for rice if you like it. Personally, I don't love it because I have a really hard time digesting it. Quinoa has what's called saponins or saponins or however the heck you say it, but it's kind of a very delicate, I don't want to say the word poison, but it's something that it naturally produces, so it keeps bugs from eating it in the wild. And so you need to rinse quinoa really well before you eat it. Even when I rinse it well, it does not settle well with me. I feel like I have a freaking brick in my stomach. It's very painful. So for some reason, quinoa does not like me. I don't mind it, but I guess we just can't be friends. I don't know. Overall, I would say this is a really good swap if you want to, because it has the complete proteins. It's not totally like rice, but it's close enough, and it's high in nutrient content. So I do appreciate it for that reason, and I will give it probably like a 4 out of 5 as a replacement swap. Also because it's a seed, it's really high in protein, so that's another benefit to it. Ultimately, it's not a bad swap, but rice is usually fortified with vitamins and minerals, so it's not also a bad thing to have either. You can have brown rice instead of white rice to have a little more boost of natural nutrients within the food, but that's just my 2 cents. I say have whatever makes you happy. Let me know in the comment section below, what food swaps have you tried in the past, and which ones do you like, which ones do you not like? I'd love to know your feedback, and I'd love to know what kind of videos you'd like me to do in the future. Maybe something similar like this one where I rate things or anything like that. And if you'd like to watch me review some funny dietitian and food related memes, then click the video in the end card and in the description box below, and I will see you in the next video. Bye guys.